So what do you hope to achieve from these protests?
Well, to put it frankly and bluntly, but it does capture the essence of the protest, essentially we need more books and more tutors. One of the biggest problems with arts and social science students is the large class sizes, the poor student-staff ratios, and yeah, you can solve that by increasing the number of tutors. That will also solve the relatively low levels of feedback we have. Obviously more tutors, less workload, they're able to give more extensive feedback, etc. And yeah, another key issue is books, as you probably know.
Do you think they should be subsidised?
Well, that's one way of solving the solution. Obviously a more cheaper version of that would be to increase the library stock. Obviously you go in, I think there's 4 copies of The Fairy Queen, which is pretty much what everyone studies in second year English. And yeah, you go in, apparently all books you shouldn't have to pay for, but you go in, there's only 4 copies. It's in theory, we don't have to pay for anything, but in reality we have to pay a substantial amount.
So what has the general reaction from students been like? Has it generally been supportive or any animosity?
Well, I'd say on the whole it's been very supportive. Obviously the whole process of the protest has been somewhat a learning curve. At the start it seemed that we were pitting science students against art students. Obviously when that was refined, that was no longer a problem. Yeah, it has been a process of refining. But no, at the point we're at now, I think there is significant support. Even the Tab published a positive article. You know,
that's something.
That's quite something.
After that article about you earlier.
Yeah, but no, that's been dealt with now.
So how did the meeting with Judith Squires go?
Well, it was pretty much as expected, really. Nothing was solved. As expected, we were blinded with tons of facts, which presented the university in a very good light. I asked for the amount of money that was given to the arts faculty annually. They couldn't provide me with that, but they could, of course, provide me with the money they spent on bursaries for underprivileged students. They criticised all of my figures, and then they failed to present us with the accurate version of it. So yeah, I gave them some quotes from The Guardian about student-staff ratio, which has been increasing in several arts and social science subjects. Of course, they negated them, but then they couldn't provide the correct version. So.
Do you think the emails that have been sent from Judith Squires are similarly trying to blind students with facts and figures?
Yeah, well, yeah, no, we'll take the email, for example, for the first email she sent is sort of case in point, really. She negated the figures I wrote in the epigram article and didn't provide an alternative. And the second email she sent out today is obviously very waffly. Once again, it does present the university in a good light superficially, but when you read between the lines, it doesn't actually answer or solve any of the issues that we've presented through the protest.
Do you feel like you've been taken seriously? Has there been any hostility? Or?
Well, by the university, they did organise meetings which we could go to discuss problems with them. Although during the meetings they referred to me as an individual. They claimed that my views were my own as opposed to a large group of students. And also in the most recent email by Judith Squires, you'll notice she puts the word manifesto in apostrophes as if some kind of ironic sort of manifesto, when in actual fact it is an issue. So I think superficially they're taking it seriously, although I'm sceptical as to whether they're actually going to put in the effort that they should be doing, that we deserve as art students.
Okay. So if you had any message to send up to the university or to students who are considering protesting, what would it be?
Well, the university already know our message, essentially. I sent the proposal list to Judith Squires, we had an in-depth discussion about it. And to the students, I would say, if you've read Judith Squires' email, I suggest you read it in a slightly more analytical fashion than she'd like you to. Yeah, try and look through the figures she gives, like we spend so much on Hyde Baker, because of course that doesn't actually benefit arts and social science students in any way, in terms of learning, etc. It doesn't solve any of the issues. So, yeah, you're going to be blinded with figures, but just, stick to the inherent truth that you believe, and that is that we are not getting value for money, which is obviously a horrible term, because you shouldn't monetize university degrees, but in this situation, you can't help but monetize it because we are not getting value for money. It's a means to an end, this argument.
Okay, thank you very much.